Hello, Marky Dragon, also known as Marcus Eikenberry in real life, and today we got another episode of how to build a custom computer, specifically a gaming computer. This one I know is super high-end, and the reason it's so beefy, most people don't need this much power in a gaming machine, because I've got things like I've got the Hexa-Core 3.2 gigahertz i7 processor. I've got a good video card, which is very important for gaming, and I've got an oversized power supply, and I've got all these drives and everything in this big case with all the cooling and stuff. But the question that I'm seeing is, why the hell would he need so much power? Well, the fact is that when I am playing a game and recording it at the same time, or doing one of my live broadcasts, all of the crunching of the video and audio really puts a big extra load on the machine, and so that's why I've gone, with so much power. This really is about the highest end you can get right now as far as CPU. I put in 24 gigs of RAM. My last system had 12, and I was always maxing out the RAM when I was editing videos. This can go up to 64 gigs, and we'll see if I start maxing out this 24, then I'll probably make the hop up to 64. But they don't really make the chips that big right now in an economical. It's going to be like enormously expensive, so I went with this other memory. Okay, so today's episode is really about some changes I've made after firing this up for the first time. So here's something I learned. One, in order to get an OS on the drive, you need a damn DVD drive. I didn't have a DVD drive in it, and so now when I fired this up for the first time, I found that I plugged in just my one drive, and well, actually I had everything plugged in. I had my AverMedia cards, I had a couple of hard drives plugged in and everything, and the machine just freaked out right off the bat. It gave me some really weird codes, error codes. The first one is it told me that the processor wasn't installed, and then I'm like, okay, so I just shut it down and restarted it, and then it told me that the video memory was bad. And I'm like, okay. And so, I made sure that this was seated properly and it has power to it and everything. Booted up again, and then everything was fine. I don't know, the first time firing up the system, maybe, I don't know, maybe it just wasn't auto-detecting stuff correctly or whatnot, but it all seems fine now. Now, when I had 3 hard drives plugged into it, and those 3 drives, it was not necessary to have all 3 of them in, and so I set the drive that I had, which was my OS, that had my OS in my previous machine. I just put it in here and expected to be able to turn it on. Well, when I did that, it blue screened over and over and over again, and I couldn't even get it into safe mode. I tried safe mode, even with when I choose any option in safe mode, even like safe mode with just command prompt, it would blue screen. And so there's something about the configuration on my old drive that is not allowing me to run it in this machine. I did replace the entire thing. It's like trying to put the interior of one car into another, and the seats don't fit quite right, and the gear shift doesn't link up correctly, and the gas pedal, when you hit it, doesn't give any gas. And I knew that I was going to have problems like that, but in the old days, when I was doing a lot of computer stuff, we would put it in anyway, and then we would just repair all the errors. Well, I haven't even been able to get in far enough to repair the errors. It did ask me if I wanted to roll back to a previous version, but that really wasn't going to help me, because all that was going to do was uninstall some of the drivers. That was the that was the second time or third time that I had reloaded the OS and put it into the into the the machine, trying to get my other system to work right. And so what I ended up doing was taking the Velociraptor drive here, this one right here. It's a special. It's about the highest end you can get on drives that are not pure solid state, and it's 10,000 RPMs, very fast. So I loaded the OS on there. Well, after I put in DVD drive. This is actually a Blu-ray drive, and this will write Blu-ray discs as well. So not that I need, I haven't found that I actually have needed to write any, but I had it. It was in my old machine. And so I found that I needed to put that in because I couldn't get booted, and I needed to get an OS loaded. So I decided I was going to go with this drive here. Well, what happened was I knew that this drive was louder. I talked about that in a previous episode, about how this drive is rated at 29 decibels, which is pretty loud. So 29 decibels, I've talked about this sounding like popcorn popping inside the machine, and I would say that that is probably a pretty good equation, that when your microwave is closed and you're doing microwave popcorn, and that pop is probably around the same loudness of it, and even with the machine closed, you're still going to hear it. I am very against noise, especially when I'm recording. And so with the OS on here and the swap and everything, this thing is making popcorn sounds all the time. And I did not register the OS yet, because I knew that I might do something different, and I have decided to do something different. So I decided that this is probably going to be my scratch drive for, that I may, or not my scratch drive, but I may just put all of my my videos on here that I record on the big camera here, because they're so data intensive. I mean, they're huge. So, on a, let's see, on a 32, I can get about 80 minutes on a 32 gigabyte chip on this camera. And so I'm commonly dealing with files that are very, very large in size. So anyway, pulled this back out, and here's what I've decided to do. I did a little bit of research. Okay, so this is an OCZ technology SSD. It's a solid state drive. This one is 240 gigabyte, and it is SATA. It's SATA, but it's SATA 2, and it only does 3 gigabytes a second. I really wish that I had a 6 gigabyte a second drive, but this is what I've got, and so this is what I'm gonna use. And I decided after doing some research that I'm going to use this for the OS, and I'm probably going to install a few applications on it. Specifically like Adobe Premiere, my video editor. It has so much stuff that it loads up all the time that it'll really benefit with this. I may put the video scratch on here as well as my page file. And the page file goes on here whenever, goes on your drive from Windows whenever it runs out of memory. And I may not have much need for a page file, but we'll see. So that is the only two programs right now that I plan on putting on here. I'm going to leave the rest of the space free, and if I have anything else that's a real pig, then I'll put it on there. And then this one I'll end up using. This one is 300 gigabyte, and I'll use that for my video editing. But still, the scratch on here for the video editor. Okay, so with this case, I've made a couple of changes already. Some things that I've learned. Okay, these hot swap items right here, I decided to pull them out. They're just wasting space. They're a bridge here to go from, it's just so you can hot swap the drives. I am not going to hot swap the drives, so I will probably, once everything is done, I'll probably fasten these back in here in some empty bays, but I do not plan on using these. So I pulled them out. The more space that I have in here, the better. The less stuff in here, the better, because I'm already going to be loading this up a lot. So now let's just start at what's required here. This drive is going to be required, and then the BD player, the Blu-ray disc player and writer. So, because I'm going to need that to get the OS loaded. So now I wanted to put this drive right here all the way up in the top, but there's a problem with that. Actually, I'm not going to open that one up. The problem is it's running into the fan up here, and so it doesn't fit all the way back. And so I decided to put it down in this one right here. So now, if you have one of these cases and you decide to put anything in that bottom slot, there's a metal plate that has to be removed, and it was very, very difficult to get it removed. And usually, what we do is we would, pop out the plates, and then it has an X shape in the plate, and you take a big Phillips screwdriver and you just hold it right there and you pop it, and to pop it out. But I couldn't get the plastic plate out, and so I ended up pushing it through from the other end. It took a lot of force, and you have to be really, really careful when you are putting so much force in a case like this, because now this one is really nice. It has molded edges and everything. Cheaper cases, you will cut the shit out of yourself. I have cut myself very badly before doing something like that on these edges, and so you got to be really, really careful about that. So okay, so I decided that down here was going to be the best spot, and now I had a whole bunch of stuff that came with the case, and there's all of these, and I didn't know what all those extras were for, and I figured it out. It's because they are, well, actually it's not going to work in this one. It'll work in the hard drives, but they are, well, actually, no, damn it, really? Come on, are you serious? I thought that, well, maybe there's two different thread types in here. See, this one is working fine. Okay, so, but for the most part, these are going to be for the drives and all along here, and it's easy for pulling them in and out, just doing them finger tight. So, okay, let me go ahead and screw this in, and we'll be right back. Okay, so I've got it screwed in. It's all mounted up in here properly. This then closes and locks in. You just push it right here and it'll open. You got to remember, if you use an auto eject on your CD-ROM drive, DVD drive, whatever, you got to remember to leave that thing open because those will stop it and probably just close again. But you don't want to attempt wrecking anything. So, okay, now I don't have enough brand new cables to plug everything in, and so I pulled out one of my old cables, and this is what I'm going to use for the CD-ROM drive. I'm going to use the oldest cable for it. It's the least data intensive, and so we're going to plug it in that way. And now in here, first you got to plug in the power, and which already have the power all set to go in here. And then I've got these other two. I'm gonna mount two other hard drives up here, just not yet. And I'll go ahead and plug this in, and then I'm gonna run it through here, see if I can run it through this and run it through the back. Keeps everything so much cleaner. And then up into here. I think I need a little bit more light. Turn some extra light on. Okay, so now this is getting pretty jammed up back here with all of these cables in here, but I guess that's okay. That's what we're you know, just as long as there's still room to fit another one in. And voila, that is plugged in. Sweet. Okay, so now, okay, so we have power to this. Now, here's my thoughts on this, is I'm going to install all these drives right now, but I'm not going to do the final thing of connecting up the data cables on them until I have the OS loaded on this and I'm fully satisfied that it's working properly. I want to make sure that it's booting off of this drive. I don't want the system confused about which one it's booting off of and me have to figure out which one it's trying to boot off of. So we'll do all this up first and then I'll plug in the other ones. But here's what I'm going to do. You know, this one can be formatted. You know, I just, you know, put the OS on it and I put World of Tanks on it. Oh, did I mention I put World of Tanks on here? And previously I was getting around 60 frames a second. You know, with the same video card, but now I'm getting 80 to 100 frames a second, and I'm really surprised by that, about the horsepower of the CPU making a big difference like that on you know, how much. I had one map where I was averaging 105 frames per second, and that's the first time I've ever had over 100, and when I had so much, when I saw that it was doing so good, I turned all the graphics all the way 100% maximum. I just had them on high before, all the way to maximum. So this is going to be so awesome. I can't wait. Okay, so now the mounting this other drive here is going to be a little bit tricky. And the reason I say tricky is because it is going down into a spot right down here, right in here. And it is going to be just right here, just like this, except it's going to have some grommets on it to hold it in there nicely. And so it's kind of interesting though how this works. I've got these little grommets here, and I don't know which end goes to which, but you know, they just fit right in here like that, and put all 4 of them in. Gotta make sure that I'm doing the same thing on both sides on the size of them, because one side is bigger than another, I noticed. And so these I'm going to put in, and then I'm going to have to turn the case up onto its back to screw these in. I've got some special screws for this spot, and they look like this right here. So they're going to screw up through the bottom and into the bottom of this drive. I haven't decided yet whether or not I'm going to, which direction I'm going to face the drive. It seems to me, for easier access, that I should face it this way, so that the connectors are out here and I can get to them easier. But if I did it the other way, then I won't have any extra wires in the way. So I don't know. I think on this one I'm going to go for easier access, is what I think I'm going to do. So I think that's going to be the smart move. And okay, so now I got to turn this puppy. Let's move some stuff around here. And okay, so I'm going to put this up on end now, or on its back. And okay, now you can see here the grommets that I put in, and it's just going to go like this. So put one in here, and I'm not going to use my electric screwdriver for this. I don't think it'd be the best idea. Okay, that one's in loose. I always put the first one in loose so that I can easily move it around for the next one. And so, okay, that's working. This is going in pretty easy. It'd be nice, these rubber things here will act as a nice buffer on it. Let's see here now. There we go. Okay. This isn't too bad, you know. It's unconventional from stuff that I've done before, but it's not, you know, it's not out of bounds of stuff I've done before. Okay, I'm not sure how tight I should make these. I'm not going to tighten it down, you know, as hard a torque as I can. I'm just going to get it tight where I don't think they'll come unscrewed on their own. So it's just giving a little bit of squish on these. Okay, so that feels really good. Okay, we'll flip this up, back up, and voila. It is, it's mounted right there. It feels good and solid. Now, for the data cable, it's, wow, that's kind of tight. I wonder what we're up against over here. I see, okay. Can loosen up. So, there's my data cable, and I'll be able to pull that, you know, a little bit tighter. Now, for power, though, I don't know. You know, I'm looking at this, and I've got my 3 power cables here. I don't want to put another power cable in here. I want to run everything off of here. So my hopes are that it will reach on all of these. And let's see, power cables on these, they go with the notch down, so it's going to go this way. So if I put the other 2 drives in here, like this, and then this one there. Okay, well, this is how it's going to be. So, there we go. It's plugged in. Awesome. Okay, now I am going to put in the other drives here. I also am putting in this one right here. You notice my note on there. It's a 2 terabyte drive, and my home server wouldn't boot with this, and I think it's just a compatibility issue. I think it's going to work fine. It'll be the last one that I actually plug in the system. Now, because of the noise of this one, the Velociraptor, I am going to install it all the way at the bottom, and just try and keep it as far away from noise as possible. Let's see, it's going to go all the way down at the bottom here. And then, by the way, this looks like it's a laptop size hard drive. It is not. It is actually taller. And and I was thinking about pulling this out, you know, to not use this, but then I found one of the screw holes on here says warranty void if removed, so I looked at it closer and realized that it's not the same size as a hard drive laptop. And so this is just a special mount for it. Okay, so now this here got the screw hole there. Now another nice thing about these is, look at this. I know it may not be in focus very good, but it's got rubber here on and plastic on here, which means that when I tighten this up into the drive, it will act as a noise buffer as well. It'll give just, well, it'll be nice. So, okay, I'm just screwing that one in. Oh. Okay, there we go. Now, I decided with using these, especially since they got the plastic or the rubber on them, that I am going to screw in the other sides of these. I didn't before, but I am now, because I want that extra removal of vibration noise. And so, okay, so that one is screwed in, and it's not going anywhere now. Oh, it's moving just a little bit though. Screw it down any tighter? Yeah, I guess I can. Now normally, you got to be really careful with hard drives when you're screwing them in. The screw hole here is up next to this board, and they've made a lot of design changes. But here's what used to happen: is that we used to sometimes screw them in too far, or use too long of screws, and it would go into the board and crack the board. And so that was no good. Okay, now I need to, okay, so this right here, actually, I decided that I wasn't going to use the top mount right now, and I'm going to load this up with as many hard drives as I can. The top mount is this one right here, and so I'm just going to unplug it, and it's just going to be left hanging in there because it's physically attached up here, so I can't just get rid of it. And it's fine being there. But I'm going to put the two fastest drives, even though they're only 3 gigabit, I'm going to put them both onto the 6 gigabit channels. And I'll change that later if I decide I want to, but that's the way it is right now. And let's see here. Which one is that at? Of course, these are hard to get to. Okay. Damn. That was hard to do. Okay, so that's going to go up in this channel up here, and then I need to get another one up in there to go for this one here. And so got to thread that through, make that fit. I don't know. Golly, this is also tight. Very, very tight. I'm so glad when this is all done. I really am not a fan of, you know, doing all this hardware stuff. I mean, I know it, but I'm not a fan of it. And so, okay, those are done. Now, gotta plug the DVD or the Blu-ray drive back in, and then there's one other here that I'm gonna have to get plugged into there somehow. Okay, so this one's just sticking out the back now, and let's run it through the same spot as this one. Now, like I said, I'm not hooking up power on the other drives yet, but when I do, it will be, oh, it doesn't, bastard, it doesn't reach. It doesn't reach by drive being there. Well, maybe I am going to end up putting in another connector for these because it doesn't reach. So, and these other power connectors that I have, I don't think any of them are just a single. I think that they are multiples. Yeah, sets of 3. Oh wait, that's not one. This one is. So, and they are sets of 3. So, okay, well, gonna have to do that. I actually wasn't wanting to do that if I didn't have to, but it looks like I will have to make this all work. So, but I'll hold it off onto the side for the moment and not put it in yet. Okay. So for the other hard drives, I'm going to put, what am I going to do here? I'm going to put, if I only have 2 down there, let's see, 1, 2, 3, I got 3 more drives to put in, and 1, 2, 3, power to that, power to that. Okay, so let's see here. I'm going to put these other 2 drives. One of them is my old OS drive, and I have some data on it I'm going to need to get off. And what I'll do is I'll pull the data off of it, and then I'll format it, and it'll become another storage drive in the system. What I'd like to do, what I'd like to end up doing, is taking, oh, those aren't the same. Darn it. I don't have, these are all 3 different drives. I really wish I had 3 drives that were, or 2 drives that were the same. So these 2 are from my old system, and what I'm probably going to end up doing is mirroring one set. So it's data that's really important to me that I don't have on another source, I'll put on the mirror. So anyway, okay, so I will put in these 2 drives now, and we're going to go up front here, up on the top, and but we're not going to plug in the power to them yet. And I really like this. They just slide in here and just set in here, which is really nice. It's so great, and pulling out those other brackets make it so that I don't have the issue of well, it cleans up some space, so which is nice. And, okay. Okay, there's that one. Now, another thing I really like is that there's room in between each of these, which makes it so that there's good airflow. I really like that there's good airflow. It's important to me. And with these that come with the case, man, that makes it easy. This is so much easier than screwing everything in. I mean, I'm screwing them in, I'm just doing it by hand. Okay, both of those are in. I think I'm going to put this other one that I've labeled as bad, which I'm going to leave the label on it for now, because I need to just remember which one it is. But it's going to go in right above the other noisy drive here, and I'm put it there. That'll help block the sound a little bit as well. That's my thoughts. And then we're not going to hook up power, but we'll hook up data cables to all of these, and then, ooh, that one's hard to see. around the other side here. All these wires here that got tied up. Okay. Oh, I got an alarm going off. Okay. So now I'm going to hook up the data cables to all of these, and then yeah, we're leaving power off. But power is going to be up there for that. Here for that. Data cable. Let's see here. Is that the best? Yeah, I think so. Okay, that one is in. Part of the reasons why I'm hooking up the data cables too, they got these metal tabs on them. If it was to sit on top of this while I turn it on, I could fry the card, and I certainly do not want to fry my video card. Oh my god, that'd be horrible. Okay, so one more data cable is needed, and this one is, I don't know if this one's a little bit shorter or not. So let's see here. I think that doesn't matter if it's shorter. Look how close it is. So let the extra hang out the back, and we'll get this one plugged in, and voila, there we go. All right. Uh-oh. One of these cables just keep unplugged. This one doesn't have a clip. The black one that is going, oh no, wait. No, I've got both of them in there. Sorry. Forgot that I unplugged that other cable. This is the extra one that goes up to this. Now, I have plugged in every single one of my SATA cables, so I will not be able to put any more hard drives in here unless I bought another controller. And I don't know that I have, with my whole configuration, that would even be something I could do. But with this as it is, so my OS drive is 300 gigabytes solid state. No, it's 240 gigabytes solid state. My Scratch video drive, my really fast hard drive, is 300 gigabytes, and you know, would be enough for that. And then I have three 2 terabyte drives. So in a sense, I have you know, 6.5 terabytes in here, which you know, is more than enough. But I do have, video data takes up a lot, so you know. But okay, so you know, I don't know what'll be the next episode, but this now I'm going to go forth, load the OS, and hopefully the next thing you'll see is me gaming. Can't wait. I'm Marky Dragon. Take care.
You like that, don't you? Eyebrows are even black. Have my aunt put it on makeup. Yeah, it's not really dyed, the eyebrows aren't. Yeah, like these. I was listening to dubstep before a lot of you were wearing diapers, alright? You like that, don't you?